Oh, let's go down the cool row here.
You want to go down this road?
Yeah, we'll go down and around.
And then we can go to that. This is just the first building.
I know it. I'm gonna
These
have to
treasures.
change my camera batteries. PO2. I love this thing. This thing flies great. And it took me a while to figure out, because normally the center of gravity is, up kind of forward of about where the front cockpit is. So it would make sense, like in a Piper Cub, the pilot would sit in the back, and then the passenger would be, could come and go, and the center of gravity would stay the same. But no, I don't know why. And I test flew it, I think, from the back cockpit, but I found out that the pilot sat in the front, which is weird to me. I don't understand why. Anyway, they got the little bomb racks, and I don't have any bomb racks on mine. In my airplane, the girls just chucked them out.
They did. Yeah.
I think initially that's what they did.
They did, absolutely. Yeah.
Oscar. That looks like it's got an original engine.
It does have an original. It's got lots of bullet holes and patches.
Oh my God! Where did this come from? There was one in Australia.
Yeah.
This is a Tim Wallace airplane. This is from New Zealand, I mean. I think.
Yeah, it was captured by the Australians and then it ended up in New Zealand.
Yeah. Oh my God! Was this a Champlin airplane?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Doug Champlin had a museum in Mesa, Arizona. And I think the rest of the collection got bought by the Museum of Flight, all the World War I airplanes and some of the other ones.
They have a personal carriage wing where in the Seattle Museum where they have all those.
That is
We
a
have
D.
all the planes they have for World War II, and this is ultra rare.
Oh, very, so much.
And,
Focke-Wulf D. And this uses a B. No, it's not a BMW. It's a Umo. Junkers Umo.
yeah,
Yeah.
213, I think.
Oh my God. And Doug's intent was always to fly it, but they never did.
Engine started up, we never, and we don't fly it
Yeah.
because it's so rare. We have an A5,
Right.
which we fly. You'll see in a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah, that is a cool one. That is a cool one. I wouldn't mind having that.
And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out the whole exhibitry and how wonderful and elegant. I think elegant's the correct word.
There you go. Paul Elegant Allen.
Paul he was very interested. He liked to go to museums. He went to museums all around the world.
Mhm.
He was very interested in all aspects, the educational message, the aesthetic. He wanted kind of legit museums, really classy museums. So these are bits of our B-17. Just to give you the the human kind of thoughts.
Yeah.
You look at that, like the ball turret, and you can't have been pleasant.
So I actually got in mine. I got one hanging in a thing just like that. Man, it is tight. And they got in without a parachute, and the breeches of the 50 calibers are right next to your ears. So you can imagine that was a noisy job. PO2.
So this is the building we started in 2008, and then we've grown and grown and grown. You know how that goes. You get too many things and you put them out and then you need more space. So as part of building our third hangar, we remodeled and built connectors between all the buildings. So if Washington's inclement weather, you don't have to go outside to get connected. And so this is fairly new. But this is designed, we have big events out to our left, out on that ramp. And so these have doors that open up, so this glass corridor can become a glass archway. So ticket holders, ticket buyers can then walk through here. There's an equivalent one between the other, the final two hangars.
A Saberway?
Yeah, they were based here, and it's sort of an architectural element. So this hangar, so we're working on here an exhibit on war at sea. Main focus is planes and tanks, but Paul has his estate has a vessel, the Petrel, that goes around the world looking for
I know.
wonderful things.
And somebody that I just met was actually, it was just doing something, and I think he is working with them or contracted with them or is going to get help to go find the Bob Music Pan Am Clipper airplane that's off of, I can't remember where they were going, but you remember the famous Pan Am guy and the airplane blew up and
Right.
anyway, but they were going to go see if they could find that.
So this has video. We won't look at them all, but so this is actually the ship. It's called the Petrel.
Too cool.
There's a lot about that. There's these are the exploration tools. I'll just show you the first minute of it.
The USS Indianapolis is 3.5 miles right below us now.
Whoa.
To get there, you're going to need one of these. This is our 6,000 meter rated, remotely operated vehicle. Now this vehicle is outfitted with LED light systems, it has sonar systems, and we have 2 high definition cameras. We also have 6 other cameras around the vehicle, so we get a good perspective and we can keep the vehicle safe.
Too
This
cool.
area right here, this
Probably
is
don't want to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
So they have two main things. Basically this free swimming thing goes around and scans, and then when you've zeroed in on something, you send that down. And these are some of the wrecks. So these are just the underwater footage. This is Lexington has had a lot of planes which are in immaculate condition. Unfortunately, you have to wait. This hangar has a different story about environments and technologies used in different environments. We have a theater. We had some custom little movies, and we have one PBS movie. It's really cute the way it's done. The theater's, you can see what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute? This is
That
so cool. This is
is.
so classy. That's
It
a word you want to
is.
use again and again. Unique and classy.
I think you should, I don't know if you rent this out for a little cocktail thing, but
do.
that's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, and these are curated. These are really clever. They're what you watch between the movies. We've got 2 notice boards using 1940s era documents. Of course, a briefing room wouldn't have all these documents.
Yeah, right.
It might have had some of them.
Yeah.
And
No, it's great.
It's really nice.
You're giving me ideas for Act 3.
Well, there you go. It's okay. Imitation is.
Yeah, sincerest form of flattery. That is awesome.
We'll just make new things, and everyone can catch up.
Yeah, I'll make sure I get all the museum people on my grand opening party list for
I'd love to see it.
Act 3 because it's going to be extremely unique. People don't understand what I'm doing, and when they finally do, the existing theme park industry is going to have to take a very deep look at its soul.
So this we're going to rearrange in just about 6 weeks. One of the new things we've got is a tank cut in half, so you can actually see inside
really?
it. And it's going to be in the middle of this hangar. We're going to rearrange.
Uh-huh.
This will be changing fairly soon, but at the moment it's World War II fighters, a MiG-29, and then a sort of Vietnam grouping.
Yeah, 105.
Of 105, a Huey. There are 2. There's an M48 tank and an M55.
Oh my
Sort
God.
of Vietnam.
Is that a...
Feel free to hop the fence.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Drop the rope is what
Drop
we
the rope.
say at Unreal. I don't know anything about this stuff. That looks like a M1? No, I don't know. 30 caliber?
I don't know either.
Okay.
I do know that
Some kind of little... it's not really a Gatling gun, just a mini gun. Oh, my God.
I like. So we had. I like it when people recognize how good things are. When we first opened it, we had a Huey gunship pilot come
Yeah.
here, and he was like, "I can't believe you did that! I can't believe you did
Oh,
that!"
that is so cool.
And you see every
the tracers.
the trace. There you
Yeah.
go. You see, you're a connoisseur.
Yeah, well,
As
they
are
had them
we.
in World War One, but I don't know if they. Oh my God, I am going to go. My friend that I'm visiting tonight to have dinner with flew 105s, got shot down in Vietnam, 7 years in the Hanoi Hilton.
Oh wow. Unfortunately, last year the pilot passed away. Later, Colonel Jenkins.
Oh, the original pilot.
Yeah, and it was such a cool story because Tallahassee Lassie, his wife was from Tallahassee. Tallahassee. I guess in the 40s there was a hit song called Tallahassee Lassie,
Oh, cool.
and she, who's now, she's like 95, 96, would always point out when she came in, she said, "I never posed like that." She sent very demure pictures of herself to
Oh, really?
to her husband in England, and some young man with some imagination took her clothes off.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Huh.
but that's supposed to be her.
I've got a D project, but I haven't. It's actually a great project. The only thing I got to do is replace a spark gap. Came out of Venezuela.
Gotta have a Spitfire.
Yeah, I've got two actually. I got a Merlin
That's even better.
16 and a Griffin 14. Yeah, that's a great flying airplane. We were getting ours going again, but just hadn't had a chance to. I got too many sidetrack things. Yeah, so I'm going to go eat dinner tonight. My third stop of the day here on my trip is to go eat with a friend of mine that flew 105s. He got shot down in Vietnam. He's now 86 years old. He spent 7 years in the Hanoi Hilton. Oh my God. He used to fly with a patch over his eye. And, you know, people talk about, you know, you got to have parallax, you know, for depth perception. He flew slot on the Holiday Inn aerobatic team with Pitts S2As. His name is Lou Shattuck.
So here's one of our, of course, rarest planes.
Yeah, this is off the chart.
Focke-Wulf
One,
J5.
yeah,
It crash landed in a forest clearing near Leningrad and was found 1990-ish, and here it is.
and I had the opportunity to buy this for 450 grand sitting in the hangar at Booker Aerodrome.
And we got it for
and I
half the
passed.
price. No.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I got it as the project. You know, it was the project, but Doug Arnold owned it. Had it, yeah. And you know, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. But good for you guys. Yeah, this is one of your jewels of the collection, without a doubt.
So we saw earlier how mechanically we like everything perfect. We like the paint schemes to be perfect. So I'll point out two things in this tour. This is one of them.
Now, at this point, for some reason, the sound somehow got disconnected. What he was pointing out there is the little gray in the swastika. Basically, when they got them to the front, instead of trying to mask them all off in detail, they would basically just paint around them, and so you'd still see a little bit of gray in the swastika. Inside the airplane here is just is awesome. I mean, they did such a great job. It was a really good project, and like I said, I had the opportunity to buy it at the time, and it's you know, there's not that many BMW 801s out there, which is the engine, and early on, you know, they got a chance to probably get whatever they needed to do that. So they're very rare engines. So if a lot of these came on the market, there wouldn't be a lot of engines for them. Inside looks great. This is a Focke-Wulf 190A, and it's pretty neat up there. I'm not sure whether or not they're actually doing some maintenance or just reloading the guns. They fly this airplane as well. Anyway, I wish I had one. Now let's go check out this wooden wonder over here. So this is de Havilland Mosquito. This airplane actually came out of the Imperial War Museum in London, and I remember seeing it very early on in the 1980s. And to get it into their very small building, you see up in the bomb bay here, they actually cut one of the wings off about maybe halfway out, and the wing was like in the wall there. So I think when Paul bought the airplane, he got the airplane. I don't know whether or not he got the extra part of the wing or not, but he sent it down to New Zealand. Those guys have been building the wings from scratch, and they've got the molds and stuff, and the airplane was done. This airplane's got the guns in it. I believe it's got some, you know, those are actually like cannons. The guns are on the top. I don't know if those are more guns or cannons down there on the bottom. Look like 20 millimeter cannons, probably 303s up in the top there. So that thing packed a punch. Is this different than My Mosquito? My Mosquito was a bomber. That's what it was originally designed for. But this was the most versatile airplane of World War II. They used them for cargo. They transported spies in them, you know, at night between Switzerland and, you know, England. It's pretty much all wood. The cowling is metal. You know, this one it's got some history to it, and this, I'm not sure if they did any how much work they did on the wing, whether they spliced in the new wing or not. It's a little bit different inside than mine. On mine, on the left side over there, there was actually a balance weight right there that we're looking at that was kind of like either for pulling G's or flutter control or whatever they were thinking at the time. Cables are all, just control cables or just regular airplane cables. They built it in halves. You can see the seam up there on the top. They would build it in 2 halves. They would actually plumb all the cables and wiring inside, and then they would push the thing back together, glue it together. And it's actually basically, there's like an inside layer, there's a balsa wood core, then there's an outside layer. There I was just describing the balance weight that we had on ours.
Okay, sound's going to come back.
I think we got some sound coming back here soon. Rod Lewis he's a friend of mine. He's got one that just got going, which is pretty cool. So I'm not saying they're home built, but they're pretty good
We
reproductions.
need to get a MiG-29,
Of course, a MiG-29.
only privately operated, owned MiG-29 in the world.
Golly molly! When you say operated, you've actually flown it, or?
Oh, it flies like usually about every 2 months.
Whoa, that is so cool! And obviously, this has probably got one big
2 giant
burners on it.
RD-33 with afterburners. Yeah, don't touch the afterburner. That's expensive on the gas.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. Well, good for Paul. That's awesome to do that kind of stuff. Something told me I follow my energies, and there was no reason for me to focus on anything beyond.
We have small
Korea.
artifacts, some of which are really cool. I particularly like this one. This is a flag that was won on one of the landing craft at dawn on D-Day.
Oh my gosh.
And this one, it's got bullet holes in it, and for your historians, you know that right after D-Day there were big storms in the channel that messed up the temporary harbors, and that's why it's torn to shreds. That looks like it was somewhere in a battle.
I'll be darned.
Oh, wonderful flag.
Yeah. Huh. Yep. And 48 stars too.
So now this is the new hangar. We've got a connector. In this hangar, we haven't been talking too much about the stories in each hangar, but each one has a big story. This is about the human face of war, and so we've got lots of planes and tanks, but we're telling stories about the people behind them. And
It's a little known fact, that's where Chuck Berry started. I'm just saying.
faces, and a very different look to this. Here are some of our events. This is the big one, TechFest Northwest. Women in Wartime is a flying event, but focused on with a lot of female content, and this is our main rundown of events. Our main flying events are Women in Wartime, FH Camp Skyfair, our sort of iconic event, and then Luftwaffe Day.
Oh my God, that's a big one for the airplane guys.
Yeah, and then the others are mainly other kinds of things and vehicles. Beginning and later in the year, because we have a seasonal climate here. We're kind of dismal
Yeah, I know.
part of the year. So
I couldn't help but notice, I'm walking around, I got a long sleeve shirt on, I got a thing on, and there's people walking around here with t-shirts, okay?
this
I'm
is
just
like
saying.
shorts weather.
This is shorts weather.
So, well, one thing about this hangar, because
FG1D.
we want space to have events. We want to have 500 people have a banquet. There's
Yeah.
no room in the other hangars. So this hangar was specifically designed for the exhibit. So everything in the middle either drives or it's easy to tow, and we can shove it somewhere between some other things, and we make a huge dance floor.
Absolutely.
Ooh,
Well, we've done the biggest,
thinking.
we've done a couple of 3,500 people events.
Well, we could, yeah, that's big.
But what happened was one, we did a Super Bowl party when the Super Bowl was in Tampa. I think it was the only time it was in Tampa anyway, and it was the sponsorship party. And we opened up, it was all inside the hangar, and they put 200-foot wide tents going out into the ramp, and they actually bolted down to my ramp and
wow.
stuff too. So anyway.
So I said at the beginning we're mainly focused on land-based single-engine planes, but we've got to have some naval story, and so we have the best.
Oh, yeah.
So for the Pacific, we have story. We have obviously.
We got to jump in the airplanes. There's been some enemy ships reported. Okay, it's a call. They called it off.
Yeah. So we have the classics. We have a Corsair, Hellcat, and a Zero. What better three
That's right.
fighters would you like from the Pacific?
That's right.
They all fly.
I got 2 of those. I got 1 of those. I only got 1 big Zero project. So
And we like these
Okay.
at this hangar because of the folding wings, because we're rearranging things
Right.
for events. That makes them a lot more flexible.
So where did this because Hellcats are few and far between. Where did this one come from?
Whoa, I don't remember all its story. It was one of the last Hellcats. It was going to be a drone. It was in the Navy.
No, but I mean, who did you buy it from?
That was before my time.
Yeah, okay,
I
because
don't
you know
remember.
there was not that many ever floating around.
This is a hot. People are always wanting this.
Oh, for sure. Oh my God, you're not going to believe the one that I've got. I've got one. Never left the States. It's a 5. I think it's a 5 F6, F3, F5 or whatever. The 3s and 5s. Anyway, so I ended up one. It only has 90 hours on it since brand new.
Oh, wow.
And then the war ended, and they put it in a park. Okay, and I think the Boy Scouts or something. It was a Boy Scout park or something, but it was some kind of a park like in Fort Lauderdale or something.
Right.
And somebody grabbed it, and they got the logs show it's only got 90 hours since new. The thing is, and we already started doing the wings anyway.
Oh, wow.
I got to get that going. That's another friggin' project we got going.
So you picked a bad day to come in the entire aircraft maintenance crew aren't here.
Oh,
off doing
bummer.
different things.
So where actually do you do the restorations and that type of stuff?
So, whatever segue, I'll show you a restoration in just a minute. We usually contract out the restoration. I think there are people up in Arlington, is our secondary location, where we do some restoration work. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure what Jason, the head, the head man,
I'm sorry, Jason wasn't here.
Jason's off abroad.
And where's Bill Mazzala? He's
He's in Arizona.
He's in Arizona. Okay.
So this is a 109
This looks like, is this an
E
E?
model.
Yeah.
with a Daimler
601,
Benz engine,
yeah.
601.
I got a 605 going in a G6.
This is a kind of Battle of Britain era, Dunkirk era.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then we have
That is too cool. Now, do you fly this?
oh yeah, absolutely. You come back for Luftwaffe Day.
I will have to come back for
It's
Luftwaffe
the only
Day.
place in the world, forget the plastic replicas, that you can see a
Yeah.
real 109, a real 190 together.
That's-
the only place
I
in the world.
know it. Oh my
right
God.
here in little old Everett,
That's right.
Washington. Ooh, you need to come back.
I do.
So-
This was one of the Jan Mueller Storches, and this is the German one, and I got the other one. They had he did 5, okay, and the 2 German ones. I ended up with 1. You ended up with 1. Bob Collings Foundation ended up with one of the French ones, the Morans.
Well,
I
we don't want
love.
no French replicas. We want the real deal.
I love this airplane. I absolutely love flying this airplane. It is such a joy to fly, and it's a great thing to display and fly slow. And
it's
you know,
really popular to fly.
really,
Oh yeah, people
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, we have military. I'll stick to the plane stuff.
Yeah.
Here is a rarity for a connoisseur. such
Oh
as
no
yourself.
way.
You know what that is, right?
Let me take a wild guess. That probably at first I thought that was a wing, and I thought, oh my god, for a Stuka. Oh my God.
So there are a couple of the guns, but this is
I'm just saying there's probably a secret Stuka project going on somewhere.
somewhere. And so this is the only housing that survived
That is
of the Eastern Front. A
unbelievable.
tank busting Stuka.
Oh my God, that is
37 millimeter anti-aircraft gun, anti-tank gun, modified. One under each side.
under each side. So what's the little kind of wing looking thing here for? It had to have some kind of an aerodynamic purpose.
Yeah, I think, and the other side, I think, ammunition. Yeah.
Oh,
This
huh.
wasn't exactly the fastest plane to begin with. And then you start
Yeah,
having
yeah.
these big, ugly, heavy things underneath.
oh my God.
Kind of thing gets slow.
And currently the only one in the country is in the Chicago Museum of Science.
An industry until you turn to
Yeah.
your left, sir, and look right what you see there.
Oh, silly me. Oh, that
can
is
that
too
be?
cool.
We actually, so we spent many years obtaining lots of. We have two major wrecks and lots of partial ones, and this is the major one that is being reconstructed. Here are the wings.
Good for
fuselage.
you.
The engine is being tested pretty soon. The propeller's already done. by next June, that's June of 2020, dear visitors, you can come back, and Luftwaffe Day that year will feature a 190, a 109, and the world's only flying Stuka.
Oh my God! So y'all have a UMO for it, or?
We had to get a lot of UMOs to get enough parts to make one, and one is
And it's down at Jose. It's down at Vintage V12.
vintage V12s, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
will be running it within a couple of months.
Oh,
It's
awesome!
virtually ready to go.
Because I was down there, I got a 2-part series walking through the shop with Jose, and I remember but Mike is actually doing it.
It's
the
in
engine.
the, yeah, it's in
Mike
the other
Nixon.
shop.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
in I forget
Yeah.
the names of all those companies.
Yeah. Jose with Vintage V12 basically just does the Merlins and the Allisons and the Griffins.
And Mike's company.
Yeah, so here we lost the sound again. I learned a valuable lesson, and got to make sure all the plugs are plugged in. This is obviously piece from some of the other airplanes that they got parts from. Oh my God, look at that wheel pant! And of course, these things had like a big screaming siren on the bottom of these, so when they dove in, it had a big psychological effect and scared everybody that was coming down, and death and destruction. So anyway, this is going to be an amazing airplane when they get this going. One of the things he was pointing out here, as I remember, was the paint job. And this airplane had kind of a history where it had one paint job and then ended up somewhere else. And I think right here he's basically pointing out how they'd sanded through the different aspects of its history, and they've painted it up in this early thing where some of those covers were over in kind of this brownish tannish color, but they're actually going to put all these other paint things and these other things over it, so this airplane is going to replicate exactly what it was. Since you all have turned into a not-for-profit, I mean, is there any aspect that you're going to try and do any fundraising or?
Yeah, so this is all fairly new to us, but
Yeah.
we designed this space so we can have big parties, and that's to make
Mm-hmm.
money,
Yeah.
flat out. And yeah, we're gonna be doing fundraising. We're looking for more grant money, more sponsorship.
Good.
Because this is a very expensive kind of thing to do, to have operating vintage aircraft, particularly when you see how ridiculously original
Oh, absolutely.
we insist ours are. And so if a part breaks, we're not going to replace it with something that kind of looks like the real deal.
Right.
We're going to replace it with the real deal, or we're going to make an exact replica of the real deal and use it. So
Awesome.
we are.
This is just really
And
cool.
this is cool. I mean, the Stuka, it's got to be. We did an interesting thing. We were talking about what are the most iconic objects in World War II, and people have done this online too. And it's surprising when some of the things that come up, like the Higgins boat. You think of people who know nothing about planes or tanks or ships, they don't care, but what are the images in their mind? They've seen in advertising, they've seen in videos, movies, and the Stuka is another one. It's a very unique shape, very distinctive shape,
Yeah.
and of course the screaming siren.
Absolutely.
And people don't know the name, a lot of people, but all you've got to do is point your hand down and go screech, and oh yeah, I get that.
Right.
I-
Forgive me.
Sure.
Does Stuka have a meaning, or is it just a name like a name?
It's one good thing about the Germans. The bad thing about Germans is they stick lots of words together and make words like 20 syllables long.
Yeah.
But then they compensate by making a short version, like Stuka, like flak, flak gun.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Yeah, again, I apologize for the sound going out. I learned my lesson. My last question was the $64,000 question, and I think was on everybody's mind that knows about this. What is going on with the Messerschmitt 262 project? And actually, they've restored an original one, and one of the things that happened was at the end of the war, the Germans were very limited on their materials and things like that, so when they built their engines, they had a very short life limit. Well, what Paul and the guys have done is basically gone back, and any of those parts that were, needed better metallurgy and stuff, they've used modern materials. They've gone back and made the original parts, so the engines ought to last a pretty good amount of time. And according to Adrian here, they're planning on getting it flying, and I don't know, maybe we'll see it fly when the Stuka flies. So keep your eyes peeled to their notices, and we'll look forward to seeing a real Messerschmitt 262 fly one day. I think it's great what these guys have done, and I wish them the best of luck, with Paul being gone, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Look forward to sharing some more great videos with you in the future. Over and out.